Hai guys, kembali lagi dengan Vika Hime di sini. Aku hari ini pingin bikin reaksi rumah yang mempesona dari Vanessa Hudgens. Ya, Vanessa Hudgens. Jadi aku mau lihat-lihat rumahnya Vanessa Hudgens. Aku mau kepo-kepo sama rumahnya. Semoga ini kece. Aku penasaran, pingin melihat rumahnya yang bagus ala Vanessa Hudgens. Apakah keren? Kita lihat sekarang. Oke, kita mulai ya videonya.
Hey AD, I'm Vanessa Hudgens. Welcome to my home. Come on in.
Wow, berasa kayak diajak masuk ke rumah Vanessa Hudgens gue. Gila. Orang kaya.
So this is the Little DeMille. It was built by Cecil B. DeMille for his mistress. Therefore, this is the Little DeMille.
How cute,
Over
my
here
baby.
We have Cecil B. DeMille, the man himself, kind of popped as like the
Cleopatra.
Hollywood grandfather of cinema. So we had to have a moment here honoring him since he built this for his mistress.
Wadar lah,
The living
anjingnya.
space. Got the
Ya ampun.
piano, which doesn't really get used that often. This is all I remember from those part. Anyways, wanted it to feel really French because the land
Gila,
is
keren.
very French and vibey. There's olive trees everywhere. So I really wanted to play into that with the space. And I wanted it just to be really like casual and relaxed and cozy. I'm a big fan of candlesticks, so you will notice them everywhere. I just loved this mohair sofa that I found at a vintage shop. A lot of the pieces I found are vintage pieces, like little tavertine stacking tables. I got a vintage movie poster, which is Breathless, an amazing French film. I'm obsessed with this. It's this artist named Peter Tomka. He does these projection silver gelatin prints, and it's his friend from high school. She wrote a murder mystery play.
Wow.
And this was a shot that he got from it. I love it.
Klasik banget sih. Rumahnya tuh kayak putih gitu, klasik-klasik gitu.
I also really love vintage books. Finding old books all over the world is one of my favorite things to do. I found these little guys in Scotland at a little vintage bookstore along with these original prints of Emma. These are just like
Wah, banyak kristal juga ya rumahnya.
stories.
Suka meditasi nih
We
kayaknya.
have my one and only Natalie Wood. Fox actually
Oh
gave
my
this to me
God.
after I did Grease Live as a present. This I got because I was like, this would be so cool to have an old school clock that chimes. And then it started chiming, and every time it chimed, I would jump out of my skin and be like, that was a great idea. Practically terrifying, but you know, it looks cute. I love big plants. I think
Bagus
it's so
banget, jadi
important
kayak
to just bring life
bener-bener
into
ditata banget ya
your home.
rumahnya.
As you can
Kayak,
see, my monstera is doing
kaca-kaca
very
semua.
well, and we just love
Hidup
big,
kayak apa,
big
banyak
bouquets. My friend
nature-nya
and
hidup.
designer extraordinaire Chadwood helped me and styled this house and put together the most amazing bouquets and arrangements. Oh, and the floors. The floors were a
Jelas sih.
big selling point for me when I saw this house. Gary Oldman lived here before me, and he put these in. They're 18th century French oak from an old chapel in Europe. So cool.
Bagus
When I
banget.
bought the house,
Gila,
these
rumahnya.
doors were probably from the 50s. They did not open at all. So I had these made to just give it some air, which is so necessary in LA. My little breakfast nook that I'm very proud of. I got this wallpaper that I fell in love with from House of Hackney. There's like little mushrooms and dragons. I got this made after a restaurant that I'm obsessed with in New York called Maison Premier, and it just feels like you're in New Orleans in the 20s. I eat here when it's like one or two of my other friends, but we normally just end up dancing around the table. Ends up being a great dance floor.
Keren banget, gila ya rumahnya, bagus gitu kayak
And then we move into the kitchen.
Kayak apa ya?
When I bought the house, this kitchen was
kayak
very
klasik-klasik
different.
Europe
It was
gitu
all
nggak sih?
white.
Prancis
There were
desainnya
red
gitu kan.
knobs on all the cabinetry. And during the pandemic, I was home so much. I was like, this would be the time to do a remodel for the kitchen. And so
Ya,
I took it
dapurnya
upon
bagus ya guys.
myself to have a project and put it all together. I wanted the floors to feel kind of Italian, so we did the tavertine. I opened the shelving up, and this tile is actually leftover tile from the remodel of my bathroom, and it was sitting in the basement, and I was
Hijau
like,
gitu, bagus banget. Kayak hidup gitu loh rumahnya,
put
kayak
that here,
nature-nya
made it just
ada,
really earthy.
modernnya ada.
There's a lot of plants. There's a lot
Wow,
of fruit.
keren.
I have an abundance of citrus and avocados. I don't really cook that often. Once in a blue moon it happens. But I'm very proud of my Cali water fridge. We gotta stay stocked, keep everybody hydrated. I just love quirky, unique things about homes, and this is definitely one of them. I don't know if it's like from a boat
Aku
or a
tahu kamu
submarine,
adalah
but
ambasadornya
it's
Cali
cool.
Water.
And also to have a swinging door. Here we have our dining room. I wanted it to feel very romantic.
So beautiful.
I wanted the table to kind of play off of the pattern of the floors.
Oh my god,
Once
bagus
again,
banget.
like 1950s Italian
Dining roomnya
chandelier.
bagus
Just to keep
guys.
it really organic and kind of neutral, since this opens and flows into the olive trees. This is the powder room, which I just love so much. It has these tiles, which I feel like have probably been here since the 50s. But this wall was painted
Menarik.
red, like bright red. So knowing that I wanted it very old school, old Hollywood, I found this wallpaper by House of Hackney.
Kayak
And I feel
toilet
like it just
zaman
gives
50-an
it
gitu
that
gak sih?
old
Hollywood tua. Iya, Hollywood
Of
tua
course, since
bener.
this is old Hollywood home, I had to have Richard Avedon portrait of Marilyn Monroe. I love this piece so much because we're all so used to Marilyn,
Ada Marilyn Monroe, ya,
smiling
cantik
brightly
banget.
and just being the goddess that she is. But this is just seems like an in-between moment, like she's really lost in thought, and it just seems like a very vulnerable personal image of her, which is what you kind of want to see when you're going to the bathroom, right? You feel safe. Since this is just like all white walls, I wanted to bring some big art pieces into the space. This is by an artist named Kader Bole. He was born in Africa
Iya, si
and
rumahnya
moved to
putih
Paris
semua
when he was
dari
like
dinding
20
dan
to
lain-lain.
pursue
Bagus.
his dream. His stuff's just so cool. This piece, my girlfriend, her husband is the artist. His name's Fernando Garcia, and I just thought this was so cool. It says Libre Pensador, and it's kind of like a commentary on how society wants to keep us inside of the box, but it's our jobs to be outside thinkers, which we support and love. This is my bedroom. I wanted it to be very feminine, so
wow, banyak
like,
kristalnya.
of course, there's going to
Berarti
be a
dia
lot
suka
of
tarot
celebrating
dan
the
lain-lain
woman
ya?
form in my bedroom. I found this piece by an LA artist named Eliza Valenti. I just love the colors. I love how it's celebrating women's figures, and they're like full vivacious bodies, and I just think it's so important to see that. For some reason, I just really fell in love with the idea of orange for my bedroom. So I got these velvet orange curtains. Once again, very important to have plants that you love on. I got this sofa that I love the shape of. I'm obsessed with this quilt. It's from Nikki Kehoe, and it's
Wow.
awesome. And I just love that it adds texture to the space.
Keren banget
These
kamarnya.
sconces I got from this store in LA called Obsolete. It
Simple
just gives
tapi
off, like, a
kayak
really dope glow at
klasik,
night. These I had
modern.
made, which I am just obsessed with. These legs that are thick and kind of have like an Art Deco-y feel to them. And this marble actually goes perfectly with the marble in my bathroom. We love when it all ties in together. And this is my bathroom, one of my favorite places in the
Wow,
house.
kamar
I
mandinya
worked with
bagus
Jake Arnold
sekali.
to design the space, and I just really wanted it to be sexy and cave-like. This bathtub that I spend so much time in. More candlesticks, as you can see. Here's the marble that matches my bedside tables. And then these are also the tiles that I had so many extra of that I used as a backsplash in my kitchen. All the faucets I wanted to be brass, so naturally I went to Waterworks. And we did it with the wood on it because I just love things being really earthy and keeping it like grounded. This is where I shower, welcome the world in the morning. Wanted just a little desk moment for myself to be able to work on scripts at home on. This lamp I'm so obsessed with. It just makes it feel like a little fairyland. My closet, which we don't need to look in because it's kind of a disaster. Of course, everyone loves living in LA for the outdoor space, and this house does not disappoint. I got these wooden beams made to follow the curvature of the iron that was already here. Eventually, I'm hoping that my vines will grow in and cover all of this, but it's just really taking its time. This is like the side door. I just love how the ivy's growing up it. The ivy over this house is one of my favorite things ever.
Wow.
Because when do you get a brick house in LA that's covered in ivy? It's very rare. The maintenance of this house it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. We have our pool, very necessary in LA. One of my friends found this chair at a vintage store. I'm obsessed, especially because
aduh, itu sumpah enak banget kali ya kalau gue nginep di situ ya.
Outside. So when I moved in, this was just a white wall.
Ngarep banget.
And I was like, that seems like such a wasted opportunity for something really cool to happen. So I found this artist, Carly Kuhn, who does
Aduh,
the
bagus
coolest
banget sih
single
rumahnya.
line
Enak banget buat
portraits, and
nyantai
I'm just obsessed. It brings so much life to the
di kolam
place. She also
renangnya.
did these. We call them the lovers. Just a little seating area under the olive trees. Plumerias are my favorite. My dad always had plumerias around. He would always give me plumeria plants. So this is like my prized possession. This is where I feel like most nights my friends and I all hang out and we turn on the fireplace and share ghost stories. Say hi, Dar. She gets camera shy.
Hai Darla. Wow.
So this is the guest house. Originally was
Wow,
built as a
keren
carriage
banget.
house, and now it's just our hangout room, TV room. As you can see, we have all of my Teen Choice Awards. They've been sitting in the garage for so long, and I finally was like, we should just put them out somewhere. So they have finally come home. Bookshelf with more books that I have found from all over. I met like Kelly Slater when I was going to a bunch of like surf US
Bagus
opens.
banget,
So
ada
book signed, which
ruang
I love.
bukunya.
I've got my Annie Leibovitz, which she signed for me when I worked with her. My friends and I are always taking photos. So we have like our vintage Polaroid just ready on hand. Got a bunch of really good stuff here. This piece I am so obsessed with because at a certain point of the day, the light comes in and hits it just right and it looks almost like a ghost. It's this artist, Kim Vitran. I saw it on their Instagram and I was like, that is amazing, I need it. And then they sent it over. My favorite part is the little portrait of Darla in the portrait. Kills me. We love a jam session, so there's always some form of instrument in all the rooms. And then we have even more land. This massive tree is an avocado tree, and it actually produces fruit. Not that often, but when it does, there's a lot of guacamole. This is a grapefruit tree, then we've got a lemon tree and a lime tree, and a kumquat and tangerine tree. So there's just a lot of fruit. I really wanted a place that you can just run around in and kind of feel like you're in a park. We have water balloon fights out here. We do little photo shoots out here. Just run around, and it's so nice to have a space that's open in LA that just allows me and my friends to feel like big kids. I love this little arch entry we have into the secret garden, which doesn't really have that much in because I'm not in it all the time. We have our pizza oven, which actually has been used. The first time, not so successful.
Jadi kayak ada
we
kayak
have a big old fireplace and
nature-nya
the
gitu
grapefruit
ya.
tree, which lights up at night and just is so whimsical and romantic. This is another thing I love about
Bener-bener
the house.
kayak alam
These
gitu.
lanterns. Their vibe
Wah,
is
gue
kind
betah
of
sih kalau di sini.
from New Orleans.
Gue
They've been
betah
around
deh.
since like the 40s, and I just love when you go to New Orleans. That vibe is kind of spooky. So these lanterns really did it for me. And that is my home. Thank you, AD, so much for coming and checking out my house. Now it's time for you to go.
Rumahnya bagus
and me to
banget
go
buat
to
gue,
the
kayak
bathroom.
cocok banget.
Bye.
Bye. How can be so cute. Sumpah rumahnya Vanessa Hudgens bagus ya guys ya. Bener-bener kayak berasa di nature, berasa di tempat yang aku inginkan. Buat meditasi, buat santai, buat relax tuh bagus banget ya nggak sih? Oke guys, thank you so much for watching. Kayak sumpah aku masih terpana dengan rumahnya Vanessa, dan see you tomorrow guys. Bye.